did that.
But
for
you went to
UTI.
UTI as well.
Yeah. So after
I was gonna say MMI, but that's a motorcycle. That's a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Motorcycle mechanics.
And so after high school, I was really into working on cars and everything, and I was like, they offered this extravagant program that they sold up, and it just seemed like a really, really good thing, and so went ahead and enlisted and did the UTI school.
What was your experience there? Would you recommend it to people? Was it worth the money that you spent? Because I've heard multiple things about it. I've talked to guys that have gone through the school. They get out there in the real world, and what garages and dealerships are looking for are guys with actual experience, not necessarily a piece of paper that says I know how to turn wrenches.
Exactly. And
is that what you experienced, or what kind of was your feel when you got out of school?
There's definitely benefits to going through the UTI program, to getting the textbooks. They have easy ways to get certified in all your different ASC areas, and those were all good things. The experience that you received, the hands-on instruction, were all good things. However, the drawback that I experienced personally, and I know a lot of my fellow peers that went to the school experience, was the amount of money, and it's a really, really, really expensive investment. I mean, upwards of $30,000 investment for just the basic level, not if you want to specialize in BMW or Mercedes or anything like that. Very expensive, and kind of what you touched on, you're not promised a career coming out of it. And you might have a piece of paper that says you graduated UTI, but there's this kid who from 16 years old, started working at, a tire shop and has been there and done the things. And so oftentimes I see now in today's economy, it didn't rely so much on a piece of paper to get me a job as it did experience, as you were saying. And
so you agree? You think people are looking, garages, places that need mechanics are looking for experience over a piece of paper?
I would agree, and to my knowledge, you don't need a UTI degree to go pass your ASE certs and to become a master mechanic. I mean, anybody can do that. You can do that just purely off of experience, watching YouTube videos, and there's mechanic textbooks that you can buy, and that's probably the best investment that I got at UTI, was the big textbook that they gave me on just a walkthrough of every single different aspect and dimension of cars. And I mean, that's gold, and I realized that I didn't need to go to UTI to buy that textbook. And such as experience,
$30,000 textbook.
Exactly, such as life, and you live and you learn and pay off student loans and everything. But I would really exhort the viewers, if you have the capability of learning on your own and not needing that person to sit there and teach you everything step by step, if you're more of a person that likes to get hands-on and just figure things out and work your way through it, absolutely, save yourself the $35,000. They're good schools, they're good programs. If you have the money, if you don't mind spending it, go through it. It's a 13-month program. It's not going to kill you. However, if you're skeptical and apprehensive of spending $35,000, it's definitely achievable without going to that school.
Did they help you with job placement at all? I mean, did like when you went and talked to, obviously you go and you talk to a recruiter, right?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, this, that, and they promise the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is what I'm assuming. I've never been there. But do they tell you, after you graduate, we're going to help you with job placement?
Yes.
And do they make it almost sound like I'm guaranteed a job when I leave here?
They make it sound that, and they talk a very good talk coming in, and the more money you pay, the easier it gets to get in a job placement. Namely, if you pay the extra money and you achieve all the good grades throughout the semester, you're eligible for like the higher up programs, the BMW, the Mercedes, and then your groups of, it goes from this many students to this many students get in these programs, and the jobs are more available for just this many students as opposed to this many. And so I would say,
So they select you. They select you out of a bigger group into a more confined group, as based on your grades and your GPA and stuff like that.
Exactly, and something that I didn't realize as a punk kid that I had to take into account as far as job placement is your driving record. In any sort of garage that you're going to work in, they have to insure you because you have to drive the cars. And so because they have to insure you, they need to go through your driving record. Have you ran red lights? Do you have any speeding tickets for all you street racers out there? All these things take into account. And fact is, the guy with the perfect driving record is always going to get hired before the guy with a couple, stoplight infractions, or, especially a speeding ticket. And even myself, I had a speeding ticket. I had all these things that made it really difficult for me to find a job in like a dealership kind of setting. and so I found myself working, doing little side jobs, working in, little shops here and there with buddies, kind of the things that most of actually my friends that have graduated the program ended up doing anyways. And so even though they had this experience of going to UTI, they're literally in the same exact place as a starting level person that didn't have that degree, because it's an entry level mechanic position that they're eligible for because of their driving records and past things. And that's obviously not something they tell you right off the bat. Hey, if you don't have a perfect driving record, don't enroll in our school.
That's something you find out afterwards.
Exactly.
Was it? Did you find that out while you're in school or after you graduated?
It was while I was in school, and I was kind of like, and it was just one of the professors, I think, or I don't know if you call them professors or master mechanics. So he had just kind of mentioned it in one of his lectures, and I was like, oh, bummer.
Would you guys tell me this before I enrolled here in $35,000?
Exactly, with my brand new 2007 Civic Si that I had, built to street race. And most of the kids there, everybody's into street racing. Everybody's kind of into either hot rods or, Japanese tuner cars. And it's the reason they're there. They like turning wrenches on their own car. So,
Appreciate it,
stay
bud.
safe and keep turning wrenches, huh?
All right. Thanks.
Awesome.